In 1897, a 17-year-old born in Germany began studying mathematics and physics at the Federal Polytechnic School in Zurich, now known as ETH. 24 years later, he would win the Nobel Prize in Physics, quote, for his services to theoretical physics and especially for his discovery of the law of the photoelectric effect. Despite this, today very few people talk about studying in Switzerland, which shocks me, especially after studying my first year at EPFL at the shores of Lake Lemont. So I've decided to share with you my secret knowledge about studying and living in Switzerland. There are 3 types of universities in Switzerland, just like in Germany. There are public universities which are focused on fundamental research, 2 of them being Federal Institutes of Technology, one at Zurich, the other one at Lausanne. They are the best for studying engineering and natural sciences, and then cantonal universities where you can study also natural sciences and humanities. There are 9 universities of applied sciences and art in Switzerland. They are oriented towards applied research and practical knowledge, being a must for those who want to study music, theater, film, art, and design, and also a good choice for those who want a career in health sciences. Switzerland is worldwide known for its hospitality industry, and they also provide top-class education in this topic. 7 out of top 10 universities, according to QS, are from Switzerland, and with another 2 in top 20, we can say that they provide a path towards luxury brand companies. The admission criteria. Each university has its own admission requirements, but what can I say generally is that most of them want a letter of acceptance from a recognized university in the candidate's country or passing an entrance exam. For more details, you should check Swiss University's website where you can learn what are the exact requirements for each university for a candidate from certain country. As for language requirements, C1 is mandatory in most universities for the language in which the courses are taught. However, an exception is EPFL, not only because they ask for B2, but also because for some residents, especially those from EU countries, they accept only a high school diploma in the domain in which the bachelor will be. The cost of living. Housing. Most universities don't have their own accommodation, or if they do, they only have for a few PhDs, but in each student cities there are associations which offer residencies for students at a price below market. Through these associations you can find rooms in shared flats from 500 Swiss francs if they are further from the campus to 800-900 Swiss francs for those which are very close. Studios are often 100 or 200 Swiss francs more expensive. Sometimes you might need to search for housing offered by privates, but this is much more difficult, as very often you need a Swiss resident guarantor, which for international students is impossible in most cases. If you find it, then you should expect paying between 1,000 and 2,000, depending on the city, for a 1-bedroom apartment. Tuition fees. They are lower than other countries such as UK and United States because public universities are subsidized by the government. The cheapest ones are in Geneva and Lausanne with under 1,200 francs per year, while the most expensive are those in St. Gallen at almost 7,000 and the Italian Switzerland University at 8,000 francs. EPFL and ETH are somewhere just above the average at 4,500 francs. The schools of hospitality instead, because they are private, are much more expensive. The tuition fees here can range from 25,000 to 50,000 francs per year, but they can also include housing and food, so you should only worry about health insurance and maybe transportation. Food. Eating out on campus can cost you from 8 francs up to 20 francs if you order for a burger, so you should expect paying around 600 francs for food if you eat on campus 3 or 4 times a week. But if you know how I can eat with only 10 francs a day, you would probably change your mind. I can eat an omelette made from Swiss bio eggs for breakfast, 200 grams of salmon fillet with potatoes baked in the oven for lunch, 60 grams of chocolate as dessert, and 2 sandwiches, and 125 grams of yogurt for dinner. Okay, it would have been cheaper and healthier if I chose a banana instead of chocolate, but I am in Switzerland, not in Ecuador, so please don't force me to eat banana every day. And putting the jokes aside, chocolate and is also at a decent price in Switzerland. However, I cannot say the same thing about meat, which is around 2 times more expensive than in an average EU country. But don't fill your hand baggage with meat products, because if you come from a third-party country, you are not allowed to import meat, and even if you do come from EU or Iceland, you should still pay VAML fees if you exceed 1 kilo. Transportation. If you love traveling by train, metro, tram or bus, then you came in the perfect place, or almost perfect, as there can't be anything perfect, especially in anything related to transportation. But trains come from hour to hour, buses and metros have exact times during the day at which they come, so the reliability of public transport permits you to be a commuter. However, the commute, if longer, can be more costly. For very short ones, you can spend around 20 francs, for longer ones, around 100 per month. And if you occasionally use the train, you should reserve 1 month earlier the ticket for the journey you want to make, because there can be 50% reduction on the ticket price. And if you're not able to reserve from early, you will spend a lot. Health insurance. The only students who are exempted or subscribing to health insurance in Switzerland are those from EU countries who possess a European health insurance card. For the rest, there are some special packages for students at around 100 francs per month. Civil responsibility insurance. This is an insurance which covers you the cost of potential damage you caused to someone else, like for example breaking glasses in a sport match. This is, let's say, cheap, around 10 francs per month. Therapy. At the end of each year, the household in which you live pays more than 300 francs for services provided by RTS. Even though you don't have a television or a radio station in your home, you still need to pay this tax. If there are more of you who live in the same apartment, then the expenses for each one can be also decent. Cultural activities. Students can benefit from reductions to theater and opera tickets, especially if they have cards like mine, which is named Curtisim, and which offers me free entry to 5 museums in the Lausanne region. Working as a student. As I mentioned in the first video, don't hesitate to check it out, 50 hours per week is the working limit set by the law during the semester and full-time during breaks. Students are usually paid with 25 to 30 francs per hour, so depending on how much you work, you can get between 1,000 and 2,000 francs per month, which is decent, but not enough. The most popular student jobs are those as teaching assistant in the university and as a waiter or barista. Internships are an integral part of engineering master's degrees, especially at EPFL and ETH, which can offer a huge advantage when you enter the job market. As for finding a job after graduation, it is quite difficult, especially because your residence permit is extended by 6 months after the end of your studies, so it's important to impress the company which hired you for the internship. Contrary to what you probably expected at the beginning of the video, being filthy rich isn't a requirement to study in Switzerland, unless you are aiming to make your way into world-class hospitality. But you need to prove you can study hard, learn the language of the locals, and follow the rules. If you like this video, then you may also be interested about that video. Do you find anything to add? Don't hesitate to comment below. Bye!